Hey family, Dr. Jackie here, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you have not had a chance to subscribe yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell in the corner so that you'll be notified when I post new content or when I go live. So today I'm going to be talking about a news story, and I'm going to kind of bring you up to speed if you haven't heard about this already. This apparently happened back in November, where Courtney Cox, who was a African American attorney in the Atlanta, Georgia area, I believe, was killed or murdered by allegedly the guy that she was dating, um, Jarvis Jarrett. And Jarvis Jarrett and Mr. Jarrett wasn't as affluent, if you will, as Courtney Cox was. And so this is what happens oftentimes when we date down as black women. We get the dustiest of the dusty um, ninjas. And unfortunately, this very bright, very beautiful, prominent attorney, Courtney Cox, met her maker at the hands of the Dusty that she was dating, um, Jarvis Jarrett, back in November. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation confirmed that the woman killed was indeed Miss Cox, and that she was killed at the hands of her boyfriend, some dusty guy that she met that wasn't in her same socioeconomic class. But unfortunately, and all too often, ladies, as black women especially, we are the most, um, we're conditioned the most, I should say, to date down. We're conditioned as African American women to be the ride or dies, to date with potential in mind. Just because someone looks the part, we don't mind, dating to build up a man and this, that, and the other. And this is the thanks that she got from that, from that choice. Apparently, this guy, the guy that she was dating, was caught shooting both inside and outside her apartment when the officers came. The GBI says that Jarrett was actively shooting from a balcony at the officers, and at least one officer fired back. The woman's body that was found inside the residence of the home um, was indeed Miss Cox, and she had been murdered at the hands of this guy. So this is just a warning for women. Raise your standards. Don't dumb down for anybody. At the very least, at the very minimum, if you're out here dating, make sure that he is at least at your level. Because what happens, and I've seen this in my own life, I've dated guys, giving them the benefit of the doubt and this, that, and the other, knowing that they weren't, where I was financially or socioeconomically, or for whatever reason, they just weren't. But I was willing to overlook that, just as, I'm not perfect. I was willing to, you know, date someone who probably, you know, who wasn't perfect for me either, but just hoping, that it would work, and dating based on potential. And I still have my life and I still have my money, and I still have my socioeconomic class, but I can see how this can go south very, very badly. And unfortunately, Miss Cox met her maker at the hands of this man who I'm sure she had feelings for. And just like most black women, conditioned herself to think, hey, it's not so bad. He has potential. He's nice looking or what have you. But a lot of times, what happens is that these guys are jealous. They get intimidated by women that have money. They get intimidated by women who have who live in a better neighborhood, or who has nicer things, and they try to cut us down a peg, I guess, if you want to put it that way. And unfortunately, Miss Courtney Cox lost her life at the hands of this dust ball. And it's very, very tragic, and it's very, very sad. And I think it's a warning sign, or it should be a warning sign to us ladies. Make sure that, don't let anybody try to shame you or try to make you think less of yourself because you have standards. I mean, these guys out here have standards, right? Raise your standards, ladies. At the very least, don't date outside of your socioeconomic class. At the very least, don't date someone who makes a whole lot less money than you. Okay? At the very least, level the playing field. Because I think if we did that, then we could avoid a lot of this nonsense that goes on in these streets. So yeah, unfortunately, Miss Courtney Cox is not with us any longer, and yeah, it's a very sad situation. So, but I think it's also a warning to us again to make sure that you know you have standards that you live by as a woman, and that you don't, under any circumstances, allow yourself to diminish yourself for anyone, especially someone who is not even on your level. And it doesn't make you better than anybody else. It just makes you someone who has boundaries and someone who lives her life in such a way that she has standards. And there's nothing wrong with having standards that you live by. Not just something that you write down on paper. You know, we're real good at that. We have a list of what we want and we keep it in our back pocket, or we keep it on our refrigerator or somewhere visible that we can see, you know. But when we get out in these streets, or, you know, when the rubber meets the road, we find that we have, you know, not even made decisions based on that list because we see somebody that's cute, or, you know, we've been conditioned to give someone the benefit of the doubt, you know. So I think this is just a wake up call for us ladies. Make sure that you are vetting potential partners and don't compromise your standards for anybody. And yeah, so I hope that this is something that we can look at as a lesson. And, you know, very sad situation with Courtney and her family. They're still investigating it, so I'm not sure how much more I can add to the story right now, but just to bring awareness to it, that this is a problem. And I wonder how many stories like this don't get highlighted, that we don't know about in our community. So ladies, be vigilant, take care of yourselves, and live by your standards, and don't compromise. Don't date potential. Don't date down. Don't date down. And don't allow anyone to make you feel some kind of way because you refuse to date down. I've said it before, divest if you have to. And not saying that, you know, this wouldn't happen with any other race, because it probably, it does and it can. But I think this is a wake up call for us to really, truly vet potential partners. And if there's any hint of dust, if there's any hint of dust, then run in the other direction. Don't walk, run. Because your life is valuable, your body is valuable, and your dreams are valuable. I'm sure Miss Courtney Cox had dreams for a bright future. She was a bright attorney. Life was tragically cut down by a Dusty that she decided to give a chance and date down. So let this be a wake-up call for us, ladies. Make 2022 the year that you resign, that you will not date down, that you will not lower your standards, and that you will not date perceived potential, because your very life could depend on it.